back.
You're good.
Good evening. Welcome to the Board of Selectmen's meeting on Monday, November 17th, 2025. We'll open the meeting at 6:03. Could I get a roll call, please, Beth?
Select Chair, Mr. Coy.
Here?
Select Vice Chair, Mr. DeRoche.
Here.
Selectman, Mr. Gifford.
Here.
Selectwoman, Ms. Costa.
Here.
Selectman, Mr. Shorman.
Here.
And please note for the record, we have Town Manager, Mr. Colby, and Assistant Town Manager, Ms. Lambert, present.
All right, if we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, what we're going to do tonight, we're going to delay public comment until after we get through the community power presentation. I'm sure that's why everyone's here tonight, not just to see us. I know there was one presentation a couple weeks ago, it might have been. So we felt it was important because it seemed like there was a delay in some of the mailers getting out there to have one more presentation so everybody has a chance to hear everything. Dee, do you want to kick it off for us, please?
Hi, my name is Dee Voss, and I'm the town special projects coordinator. And I work, as part of that responsibility, I work closely with the Energy Committee. And the Energy Committee has been working very hard for the residents of Plastow. We've done things like converted the streetlights to LED, which is saving the towns thousands every year. We've converted as many buildings as we can to LED lights that have sensors on them that go off when there's nobody in the room. So at home, when you're telling the kids to shut the lights off all the time, we don't have to do that here. And trying to think, there's a solar array on top of the salt shed that helps power the highway department building. And we're looking at, in the future projects, we're looking to put a solar array on the landfill that's not getting us any money right now or getting us any benefits. So we're looking to do that in the future. And another thing that we've been working on is the community power program to help residents with a stabilizing of the budget for your electrical expenses. And for that, we have brought in consultant ECM Power, and Emily Manns is here tonight to talk to you about the community power program.
All right, Emily.
One more thing. As part of the Q&A, we do need you to come up to a microphone so that your question will be part of the recording for the benefit of everybody. So if you have a question, and when the Q&A part starts, if you could come up to these microphones right in the middle, that would be very, very helpful. Thank you.
All right, Emily, the floor is yours.
Okay. So it's good to be with you tonight. This is the second public information meeting for Plastow Community Power. As Dee said, I'm Emily Manns of ECM Power. ECM Power is providing consulting services to the town of Plastow for your community power program launch and implementation. So a little bit more about me. I have been doing community power services for 5 years, since 2019, since the community power law was passed. And I've helped about more than 24 communities through their planning and approval process. And this will be my 10th program launch. So a short overview of the program.
Emily, I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you speak towards the crowd? We don't have the speakers up. So if you could speak that way
Yes.
towards everybody so they can hear you better.
Yes.
Thank you.
This ring. Okay. May I stand? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Whatever works.
I'm going to need someone to advance the slides.
Ellen.
I think I just volunteered.
Okay. Thank you, sorry. Okay, so an overview of the program is that it's a town-operated group purchasing program for electricity supply. We've had questions about the authorization and the approval. So it is authorized by state RSA 53E that was passed in October of 2019. And it went through an approval process locally through a committee process that involved planning with public input, public hearings. The Community Power Committee approved a draft plan and they presented it to the select board, who approved the plan and sent it up to the state for approval. So it's been through local and state approval, and that was in December of 2023, and the program's launching in December of this year.
It was also voted on by the public as well.
Yes.
Through Warren.
Yes, I skipped. I'm still getting used to having my slides over here. So yes, it was voted on in town meeting actually in 2021. And yep, so if you go to the next slide, then we can look. So I have two slides about the authorization. This one about the RSA, and then the next one's about town meeting. RSA 53E, Chapter 3, allows any municipality or county to aggregate retail electric customers unless they opt out of the program or if they join the program voluntarily. So this is the one thing common to all of the community power programs in New Hampshire. There's over 100 that have been approved. There's 60 or 70 that have launched already, but they all work under this allowance to run an opt-out program where the customers are bundled together. This is really the core of why the program can work. We wouldn't have a program without the opt-out provision. So I know that's sort of the least liked aspect of the program, but it is a necessary part, and we can talk more about that. But it also allows the town to enter into agreements to provide electrical power. There are a couple of different ways this can be done, and Plastow is running a stable rate community power program. So about a third of the programs in the state use this system, where we're going to have a stable rate over periods for longer than 6 months that the utility rates change. About 2/3 of the program in the state of New Hampshire use the Community Power Coalition. Plastow is not part of the Community Power Coalition. That program runs on a 6-month schedule, but they can change rates at any time. So that's not an issue with Plastow. This is a stable rate program that will be stable for the term, and I'll show you more about that. Okay. So Dee did provide me with the warrant article, and so I just wanted to provide it here. You guys have it in your packet if you want to look that over. I don't think there's any question here. It was voted on about 65% of the vote in 2021 to go forward with the program. So it provides new supply options. So it only affects the supply portion of your electricity bill from Unitil. There are no changes to the delivery of your electricity. Your electricity is delivered by your distribution utility, Unitil, and that is unchanged. The same emergency services are provided. If you, you get one bill with your charges on it. All distribution and transmission emergency services and billing stay with the distribution utility. Oh, you can click through this. So this is a mock-up of your electric utility bill. There's one section that says supply section. This is the only section the program will affect. Below electric supplier services, it says your supplier. If your supplier there says Unitil, then Unitil is providing your supply as well as your distribution services. And it also, then it'll repeat your supplier name below that and contact information for your supplier. So your supplier may be Unitil here. It could be a competitive supplier. So maybe you have a third-party supplier. Maybe you have an independent competitive supplier. This is where to look to see where your supplier is and what their contact information is. Important thing about the program is that if your supplier is Unitil, you are eligible for automatic enrollment in the program, and I'm going to explain that next. So customers that are currently on Unitil default supply are eligible for automatic enrollment in the program, and you will be automatically enrolled unless you take action to opt out. So I'll deal with so for customers that don't want to participate in the program, you must take action if you're an eligible customer in order to opt out. So, okay. So, if you're an eligible customer and you want to participate in the program, then you don't have to do anything. You will be automatically enrolled in the default option in the program. So the program has a few different rate options, but there's a default. And if you are an eligible customer that wants to participate, you don't have to do anything to be enrolled in the default option. Yeah, yeah. So other customers can join the program. It's open to all customers in Plastow, and if you're on competitive supply, if on your electric bill it says your supplier is something other than Unitil, you are welcome to join the program, but we do recommend you call your current supplier to make sure you don't have early termination fees for getting out of your current contract. But otherwise, you're welcome to join if the rate is attractive to you. I put net metering customers here. Group net metering customers, these are people with, solar projects. This is, you know who you are, should not participate in the program. Also, people with solar panels, customer generators that get monetary credits on their electric bill should not participate in the program. Your supply credit will not be credited on your bill. So these are typically people with panels built since 2018. So that's pretty much everybody, but there are some net metering customers that can participate. People on the oldest tariff, where you get full credits, kilowatt hour credits on your bill, you're fine to participate. You will continue to get full credits. And also group net metering members. If you're a member of a group net metering program, you're safe to participate in the program, and you can take the program benefits in addition to the benefits you get through your net metering program. So this is the program in a nutshell. This is the rate table for the program. On the left are the program rate options, and you can see the column that's labeled default or automatic. That is the rate in the program that if you are an eligible customer and you don't do anything and you're automatically enrolled in the program, this is your rate. So that's 11.4 cents per kilowatt hour for electricity supply. It meets the state minimum for renewable energy, which is 25.2% renewable. That's the state minimum. Every kilowatt hour in the state has 22.4% renewable energy unless you have additional renewable energy. And then the term is 24 months for all of the program options. So that's 24 months from December of 2025 through December of 2027. We do expect the program to go on after that. This is the current contract that was competitively bid and selected by the town. So I'm going to skip over to the right for a moment. Those are, for comparison, are the Unitil default service rates. These change every 6 months on February 1st and on August 1st. And so the rates you see here are only good through the end of January 31st. But you can see that the residential rate is 11.777 cents per kilowatt hour. So if you compare that to the default rate in the program has small savings relative to the current utility default rate. The program will strive to have savings. That's a key goal, but we have timing constraints for getting launched. So the town decided to go forward with a launch with savings, and over time we'll work for savings for the program. Small commercial customers, the default rate is a slight premium to the rate for small commercial customers in Unitil. Basically, for the longer term, you're paying a little bit more. So I just want you to point out that those are the rates you're comparing, and those are your optional rates in the program if you want to participate. And back to the program rates, there's the plus 10% program rate, and there's 100% renewable program rate. These add additional voluntary renewable energy to your rate. You can see the plus 10% local green is a small premium. It's basically equivalent to the current utility default residential rate at the moment. But I want to say that the renewable energy in your program is real renewable energy. It's traded on markets. These are national, regional, local markets. Actually, I have a slide about renewable energy, so yeah. But before I get to renewable energy, I wanted to show you what the utility default rates have been doing over the last 5 years. I can't predict what the utility default rate will be in the future compared to this program, but I can show you that the rates go up and down. And over the last 5 years, they've varied from 6 cents to 25 cents in Unitil service territory. So the program is protecting you from the upside. Participants in the program will no longer be told 30 days in advance that they have a rate increase. If you participate in the program, the rate stays that unless you make a change through the current contract period, and then hopefully beyond we'll get better rates or consistent rates. And then I said I'd talk about renewable energy. So renewable energy is traded on markets that you may have heard of, Windrex from the Midwest or from Texas. The renewable energy in your program is not that kind of renewable energy. It is renewable energy from sources that are eligible for New Hampshire Class 1 renewable energy certificates. So that's mostly solar and built since 2006. These are real payments that go to real projects connected to the New England electric grid. Probably not in New Hampshire because a lot of the New Hampshire sources are also eligible in Massachusetts and they can make more money. But so we go, but we stay as close to New Hampshire as we can in New England, possibly in New York and in Canada. But importantly, this isn't Hydro-Quebec. It's not, they wouldn't be qualified for New Hampshire Class 1 RECs. They wouldn't be qualified. So it's open to all customers in Plastow. There are no individual customer contracts, no fees to participate, change products. You can come and go from the programs, no cost. Customers on electric assistance program keep their benefits. So I actually made a call today, so if you're on electric assistance, you get a percentage off your supply portion of your bill, and you will continue to do that. It doesn't matter who your supplier is, and I confirmed that today. And then budget billing customers, if you are a budget billing customer, it will continue on the distribution part of your bill, but it's not on the supply side. So if you're a budget billing customer and you want to participate in the program, just call the utility and just understand how it's going to work. I think your bill might change a little bit because of the supply rate. Okay, so making changes. If you participate in the program, if you like this and you just participate and then you're all set, you don't make a change. But if you make a change, then changes are effective on your next available meter read date. And they could take a month or two to show up on your electric bill. So when you make a call, it depends on when your meter read date is. When you make the call, it'll be effective on the next meter read date, and then it'll show up on the bill after that. Customers that return after opting out of the program can be returned to a market rate, not the program rate. Now, this is the fine print. It's in the electric service agreement. It is to discourage sort of medium-sized or large commercial customers from coming and going from the program. There's a name for that. It's called a punch-out, and they don't want customers that are large enough to affect everybody else's rate to come and go from the program. Essentially come on the program in the winter when cost is high and then go out in the summer. Very unlikely to be applied to residential customers, but it's not impossible. But just residential customers are small relative to the program. So if you're doing something individually, they're not going to notice, and then you're small relative to the supplier. So probably not going to happen for residential customers. And then customers that join the program and then opt out are temporarily returned to the Unitil variable rate. I'm going to say two things about this. One is that it's temporary. So you will be returned to the fixed rate on February 1st or August 1st at the next utility rate change. The other thing is these rates aren't punitive. The variable rate in a 6-month period averages to the fixed utility rate. So they're but they're high in the winter. Essentially, they're high. So the takeaway from this is not a reason not to participate. Go ahead and participate. But if you do find that you're opting out of the program, try to avoid the winter months. Try and, if, don't opt out in November, opt out in February, make the call in February, not in November, to avoid high winter rates. And if you have a question about that, I actually have an extra slide that I can show you rates. Hopefully that made sense. So I just have a couple more. These are in your handout. These are the how to get information. I like to call the supplier. If you call Dee in the town, or you contact me about your program specifically, if you're time sensitive information, we still have to call the supplier. I need to contact them. So if you want timely information, calling the supplier is the best. But you can use the online contact forms for. There's more information there. If you didn't get your letter, or if you threw your letter away without keeping it, there are extra letters there, and there's more information online. So and then for opt-out customers only, if you don't want to participate and you want to opt out, in your letter, your eligible customer letter was an opt-out card, and you can return that. So, and then more information and help with the customer letters were mailed to every customer, whether you were eligible or other customer, and the program website. And then if you still have questions, I take customer calls all the time, and you're welcome to contact me. I didn't put my telephone number there, but my card is in the back. If you want to give me a call, I talk to customers all the time.
We're going to post this to the website as well, this presentation.
Which is sort of why I didn't put my telephone number. You're all invited to call me, and I just ask that you don't post my telephone number. So that is the end of my formal presentation. I think Dee is here. I know I saw Tim in the back for the Energy Committee. I do. I do. Well, shall we see what extras I added? Here we go. Sure. Okay. Well, yes. So here were two questions. One was the timeline of the program. So we talked earlier. Their approval at town meeting was in March of 2021. The program was fully approved in December of 2023. That was the local and the state process was completed in 2023. The program went through some pricing exercises that weren't successful, but we were successful in September and the town signed the electric services agreement with Direct Energy, who is your supplier for the program. That's a competitive blind bid process, so with multiple suppliers. And then customer letters were mailed October 21st, and we had a public meeting October 29th. There was some question about the timing, that seemed really tight timing for the customer letters to be mailed in the first public meeting, but there is a time limit on that window. It has to be done within 14 days of the mailing, and we plan it a month in advance. So under, I think when the law was passed 5 years ago, that a week would have been plenty of time to get the letters in your mailboxes, and the mail's just been slow. So I do apologize if, I hope that people had questions. Maybe they saw the recording. The first meeting was recorded. My slides are a little bit different, so if you want a different presentation. But in any case, that was the timing for the first public meeting, and the select board saw the need to do another one, and so we're here now. So public meeting is the 17th. The deadline to opt out is the 25th. So as a practical matter, I hope you join the program. I hope that you at the end of tonight, that you feel comfortable, you have enough information, you feel that if it's the right decision for you, then you stay with the program. If you do need to opt out, try and get it done by the 25th. If you find yourself making a call after that, the change will be made on your next available meter read date, which might still be your December meter read date. If you have a meter read date the 15th of December, it could still happen after that. So the deadline is there, so people that really want to opt out and never participate in the program, then they have a deadline to do that. Then eligible customers will be enrolled in December on your meter read date. And then after that, program website, and I'll be here to run the program. And there's lots of interesting things in the law to evolve the program if the town chooses to do so. But this is how we're launching a basic program. So, and then Unitil variable rates. So I just put together the chart. So if you joined the program and then all of a sudden realized you need to or want to opt out, I've highlighted the winter rates there that show that, it shows two things. One is that the winter rates are high. They're sometimes double the fixed rate for Unitil. So you might get a shock if you return to default service in December. You might get a shock for your January bill, but it's temporary. It goes back on February 1st. The other thing is, though, that most of the months of the calendar year are lower than the fixed rate. So if you return to default service in March or April, your rate would be below the fixed rate. So I just didn't want people to worry about joining the program in case they needed to opt out. I didn't want the variable rate to be a barrier to you joining the program, and I hope I've explained that well. So, and I think the last is just my card. So I already introduced myself. So yeah. So do you want to put the rates back up maybe? And I'll
Way back to the rates here.
one more. Yeah. So. So I think we're open for questions.
Yeah, thank you, Emily. Anybody for questions, just come right up to the desk with the microphone, and please
Right
ask.
there.
Now's a good time to ask the questions.
It's up here. Do you need a name or anything? No. Okay. A couple of them. They're just clarifications, I believe. First of all, I don't even know. Does every resident have the same meter read date in a month, or do they go all through the month?
They go all through the month.
Okay. So I'll use mine as an example. My meter is next being read on December 9th. So if I enter this program, December 1st through December 8th or 9th will be purchased from Unitil. December 9th or 10th through the rest of the month will be purchased from Direct Energy Services.
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay. You mentioned default service from Unitil. Does whether you're on a fixed rate now or a variable rate now have any bearing on that?
No.
What exactly is the relationship between EMC Power and Direct Energy?
So EMC Power is a broker and services provider. We are consultant to the town. Direct Energy won the competitive bid for the program for the town. So Direct Energy and the town have a contract, electric services agreement, and I receive a fee for my services that's written into the electric. Yeah.
And basically what you're saying is, other than practicality, you can go in and out as many times as you want in this thing.
Correct.
And just for informational purposes, it's been my observation that the delivery portion of the monthly bills is becoming a more significant percentage of the bill than it has been historically.
Mm-hmm.
So this program will actually will help less than it may have helped in 2021 when it was first approved. Just so you know. Thank you.
Thank you.
What was the response on the delivery charge? Are you going to help that, or?
The delivery charges are independent of the program. So the program strives to get the best competitive rate and terms, but we can't control the delivery portion. He was just making the point that as a percentage of your overall bill, delivery is a higher percentage than it was in 2021, which I...
Unitil has been increasing those rates, and they've got another one in front of the PUC now. You have to increase the rates starting in January. That part it used to be about a 1/3, 2/3 split in my experience. It's getting close to 55-45 now. 45-55.
So, but that does remind me that the supply rate has been very volatile. So when the supply rate was 25 cents, it wasn't a third of your bill. It was a more significant portion. So the program will levelize will take out that
possibility of a really high supply rate that would have been a higher percentage for those months.
Thank you. My question is, there are other communities that have this agreement with you. How does their agreement compare with the one you've given us?
Oh, that's a good question. So I know of, so I have 6 programs, but let's see, I think I know of 12 that have either renewed or launched in this period, and they're all within the, the stable rate programs are all within the 11.1 to 11.5 cent per kilowatt hour. So you're very much, you're right in the mix there. And then the Community Power Coalition programs that change every 6 months, their rates are high at the moment. They were low and now they're high. So a couple of cents higher, I think, at the moment, but they change every 6 months.
I'm going to use my teacher voice, which I'm sure everybody will hear in microphones. If I have solar, you're saying that I should just opt out, correct? No. If I have solar, then I should just opt out.
If you have solar since before 2017,
Okay.
then you're safe to stay in the program if you have full kilowatt hour credits on your bill. If you're not sure, then it's safe to opt out. If you have monetary credits on your bill, then you should opt out.
And the letter you guys sent out probably fell into the black hole in my house. But I could go to the website and opt out with the forms there, correct?
That's correct. And you can read the letter as well. If you look on the right-hand side, I posted the generic letters. They don't have your name on them, but sure.
Right here, please.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for doing this for us, I guess. I'm looking at the difference between Unitel's cost per kilowatt and your proposed cost, and it comes to like 377 thousandths of a cent, which is not too exciting. You multiply that times 344 from my latest bill, and my savings is $1.29. Now I multiply that times 12, and it's about $14. My 12-year-old and I save cans so we can buy sports cards. So far this year, we've got over $90, which we can buy Drake May sports cards. He's excited about that, though. So I'm looking at this, and I'm seeing the word affordable energy. I don't see much affordability here, to tell you the truth. And I know it's going to vary on usage, but this is not necessarily a landfall considering all the effort you've put into this. So, and I also like to ask you, you said you're in many other towns in New Hampshire. Can you give us a 1, 2, 3 year response and what those towns save per household in terms of the average 2 4-member household? You really mentioned nothing about actual savings in my thoughts. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I can't predict savings for the program going forward. Well, the program...
About the past, just like you invest in a mutual fund, you always
Right.
get a prospectus which says past performances does not indicate future. So talk about the past. What have you say for people in the communities you serve?
Okay, so ECM Power is a new company. I have done program planning and launches,
Okay.
several of those in 2025. The savings have been various. They vary every 6 months. I haven't done that analysis.
That's what this is all about, isn't it?
So if you, I think I've been clear about what the program is, which is it's a stable rate program with transparent rates. And the community, if the town hadn't launched this program, you would not have the opportunity to do that. So if you think the savings are not high enough for you, then you can opt out. You're free to do that. And you're free to change your mind again and again. If you think that launching a program with small savings was a worthwhile endeavor and you want to participate and forget your rate unless you make a change, then this program is for you. That's the point of it, of the choices. Yes, I agree with the gentleman about the concept is that we save you money. And over the 5 years I've been doing this, the utility rates have in some ways responded to community power coming in. And I think all ratepayers are doing better because of the community power programs are serving something like a third or more of customers in New Hampshire now. So the utility rates are dynamic. The savings are small on the program. This was done competitively. So I can't control the market, but I can say that this is a fair market rate for a stable rate program. And, the point tonight is that you make your own decision for your own household. And maybe, there will be savings and maybe they'll be small, but in any case, you'll have the stable rates. I'll get in trouble from Dee if I don't encourage you to come up. Thank you.
So I did go to your website and I looked at the other towns that you're doing, and Plastow's the highest. So if we're all getting the same energy, why is that? Why are we the highest cost?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these other towns have Eversource as their default supplier, and Eversource is actually less costly than what you're offering these other towns. So I just want your comment on that.
Okay, so the programs that I'm doing, 4 of those are program renewals. So they are, and they've all been put under contract since middle of August, I guess, maybe the late middle August. So ironically, the question over here was that the savings are small, but the question over here is that it looks like there's a big difference. But the figures you heard quoted over here of being about $1, 50 or something.
Mine would be $1.24.
Right, it would be different in the rates. So we can get involved in whether, I think Dunbarton is launching in January. They're not launching in December, so they have one less winter month in their rate, and they have a lower rate.
0.1116
right.
Instead of 0.11777.
Right, because they have one less winter month in their contract, or they have one less current winter month in their contract. So the energy markets are very dynamic. That's what a competitive process does. The rates change every day and every hour, and we just try and get a great rate for you. The other difference is that this is Unitil service territory. So while mostly the cost of power is shared across the utility service territories, there are different adders, and Unitil is. This is the only all Unitil community that I'm working with. Also, Plasto probably has, although I can't say this for sure, but probably has higher commercial participation, or for some reason the demand curve in Plasto might be slightly different than another community. But communities basically have different demand curves, and that always creates a little bit of difference in the rates. So utility, demand curve, when the program starts, whether it's a renewal, and the term of the program are all factors.
So also I called Unitil and said, if I went with this and then they announced the new rates for February in January, if their rates are lower and I want to move back to them, when should I let them know? And they said, you have to let us know 2 days before February 1st. And for those 2 days, you'll be on the variable rate, and then you get the fixed rate. So you were saying call them in February, but if you do, then you'll be on the variable rate until August.
Oh, I think so. Actually, I can't confirm that that's true, but that's great if you want to join the program and then opt out. Apparently, Unitil said you could call 2 days before the February rate. And
Once they announce
that seems very close to me. I would say they announced their rates, Unitil, more like December 20th, something like that.
They said January, mid-January they would, but I don't know.
I believe it's earlier. So if you want to do that, but just remember that those rates are 6-month rates. So absolutely, if you miss that, or and call the utility and find out what will happen if you want to opt out.
Thank you.
Can you put that slide of the rates up again on a monthly?
Sure.
I think it was towards the end of your presentation.
Sure.
People are listening. So December 25 and 26, those are estimates, or those rates are already coming out?
So the question is, are the rates up here estimates, or if they're real rates? These are historical rates. You can see that's August of 2024. I should have pointed that out when I did the slide. This is the past. So we don't know the variable or fixed utility rates after January 31st. Don't know what they are. What I was showing here is the pattern, is that the winter rates are high, and but the shoulder rates are low. And in each utility rate period, they average to the fixed rate. So that doesn't help you if you get a January bill that has a high rate. You don't, then you have a high supply rate for that. But again, the point here is about program participation. Do you want to participate or not? And are there things that would cause you to make a decision one way or another? And what I'm trying to say is that variable rates, going back to the variable rates, is not a reason not to participate. Don't be afraid of the variable rates. We just heard that the utility will put you back on the February 1st fixed rate if you call by January, 29th or 28th. So don't be afraid to join the program because of the variable rates. They are temporary. And as long as you avoid the late, you'll already be past the late fall period. You can't opt out then and join the program. So just wait till March to opt out if you find yourself in that situation.
I think one of the things a lot of people have talked about in town is the whole opt-out part of this. That, I think, puts
Can we get you on a microphone, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
There's like a sea of people, so.
I think the thing that was off-putting for me when I opened my mail and kind of found out about this program was simply the opt-out part of it. Usually when you want to participate in something, you opt in. I don't have to opt out for my kids to play sports. I've got to opt them in. If I want to be part of something, I join that. I don't have to take my time to opt out. So that gave me some suspicion. I did a little research, and I actually emailed you earlier because I was interested just reading this letter about, you've mentioned Direct Energy LLC. I pulled up an article that the state of Illinois actually sued them for $12 million, won that lawsuit because they were just making false claims about what the savings would be. I don't necessarily feel comfortable being on that kind of a program where we know there's some kind of like an ethical boundary that was crossed in another state. What do you say to that? And also, this might be a question for you, Emily, or the town, but who pays you? Or is the town paying you? Are you getting the commission from the energy company that purchased the bid? How does that work?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if I've told you that there's going to be savings in the program, then let's just look around. I believe I've correctly said, and now a few times, that I can't guarantee savings of the program.
But what's the point then?
Except upon launch. So I am paid in the electric services agreement. I get $1 per kilowatt hour. So that's a less than 1% of your program goes to basically overhead. Everything else goes to the supply. And the last thing about Direct Energy, they are an experienced national provider of municipal aggregation services. They're one of 3 that provide services in New Hampshire and about 5 that provide services across New England. So I can't speak to any sort of lawsuit.
Yeah, but you're selling their product to us, so Shouldn't you know more about them before you present that to people and say this is the best bid?
So
So no.
I
And
feel
then
like
where does
that-
your paycheck come from? Because you skipped over that with some job wolf right there. I just want to know.
Okay, well, I'll address
Is our
this.
tax money paying for that, for you to be a consultant, to you to be a broker? Because everybody in the room should know at any time, we don't need a broker for this. You can search for your own rates. There are probably already people in this room that have found lower rates, and we don't need to pay a broker, and we don't need to have town meetings about it. If there is no guaranteed savings, why are we all here doing this? And like this gentleman said, they're very, very minimal savings, if any, for right now. But there's, and then the committee that, right on our document, I just think people should really think about it. You also said, Emily, that you're in the middle of you have 10 or something towns. Your website, I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towns that you've contracted. That's what your website says. So I'm not sure where 10 comes from. We don't know you, so we want to.
Okay, so is there, I'm sorry, you've said a lot of things. Do you want to ask a question?
No, I think the town should just be aware. That's all. And you haven't answered where you're getting paid from. Is it coming from Direct Energy, or is it coming from the town as a consulting fee?
Okay, so my fee is included in the electric services agreement. It's a mil per kilowatt hour.
Who pays that? Who pays the electric service agreement?
And if I can finish my comment, then I'll let you know. The program pays for it. So it's per kilowatt hour of use in the town, and there's no cost to the town budget for the program.
Perfect.
Regarding the 10 and 6, I'm a new company. I have 6 customers under contract, but I had a career before that, and I have, this is my 10th launch and my 6th in 2025.
If enough people don't participate, does the cost per kilowatt hour go up because not people buying in? Very much like a group insurance program where the premium is lower based on a large amount of people opting in. If many people opt out, what happens to the kilowatt rate?
So the question is, does the cost per kilowatt hour change if people don't participate? And the answer is no. All of the program risk is on the supplier. So they are an experienced provider for municipal aggregation services. They've done this for a number of years, and they know that there'll be activity in the program. People will opt out, people will join. Some of them customers won't be residential, they'll be a good sized commercial customer and they'll come and go from the program. The program rates are set in the ESA, and as I presented, those are the rates available to you for the term of the program, which is 24 months.
One more item says at the very bottom here, cannot guarantee savings for the entire contract because of utility default service rates. So you're asking us to get involved in something which has no guarantee, and you can't give us a track record. To me, I'm opting out.
So what I'd like to say is that people are here to get their own information. And if and I hope to answer your questions. I think that if, you want to state to the room that you are opting out, so maybe you want to influence people in the room. And I'm just saying that.
Personally, that's my thought.
Okay.
Isn't this a program that we're just good citizens? That's why we're gonna get into it, 'cause our leaders said you ought to be in it. Let's hear from them.
Well, you were part of the committee, right? Basically, correct me if I'm wrong, this went to a town vote. And the town voted for us to pursue this. So that's what we're doing. It's pursuing it and giving the options. If you look at it, I guess, the main thing I see with it, my personal opinion, is you're going to have a stable rate for 2 years if you want to keep that rate. If Unitil or you find someone else, a provider that's lower, and everyone correct me if I'm wrong, you could opt out and then opt in with them if you wanted to down the road. Now, myself, I have solar, so I'd be opting out just because I have solar. Just so everyone knows that. Anything to add, Jay? Because I know you're part of this.
Just So I don't have solar, so I'll probably opt into it automatically. But I always look at the rates. So I've always looked at other suppliers and we'll shop it around. So if this is favorable to me and I can save a few bucks during the winter, I might do it. But we're giving our residents an option to try to save some money on, it's not huge, but maybe in those other timeframes when it goes up to 25 cents or it even will drop down under 10 sometimes. So you can jump in and out and you won't be affected. And even if you jump to the variable rate after the winter, it's actually still going to be lower than the program. So you might actually save some money opting out for the variable rate. But during the winter, if it goes up and doubles, then you could see a significant increase in your bill.
Right, so what would happen is this rate would be locked in for 2 years, but you can opt in and out when you want to opt in and out.
I have a quick comment. When we voted this, I actually voted in favor of it because I would assume that the town, selectmen would be looking for substantial savings. So if you're talking 10-15% savings, that's great. We're talking $1 a month, and then the rate could shoot up above Unitil's rate, and I'm paying $35 more a month now. So the promise to save $1 or $2 for the next 2 years was what could go up to $200 more every month, 2 years down the line. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And honestly, for $1 savings, it's kind of a waste of our time.
The town voted for it, so we're pursuing
We
it.
voted for it in good conscience, thinking that our selectmen would search for a reasonable solution, not a 0.01% solution.
Town voted for you to look into it.
Right.
Put us all in it.
No, it was actually to put you in it.
I think. Excuse me.
Am I okay to speak?
Go ahead.
It's not, the program is not intended to force anybody to do anything they didn't want to do. It's to provide another option for those, particularly for those who need a stable budget. So they can plan this, that they're locked into this rate for 2 years so that they have the stability of it and they don't have to worry about the jumps and the such. It's not anything that anybody is being forced to do. We would have loved to have done it as an opt-out program, as an opt-in as opposed to an opt-out, but the legislation did not allow us to do it that way. We fought real hard for that. But the way the legislation is written, we had to do it as an opt-out instead of an opt-in. Nobody is forcing anybody to go into this program. It's to provide yet another option for residents to try to realize any energy savings. We're still looking at other programs that we could maybe offer in the future, but for now, this was an option that we could make available to the residents.
I'm just wondering if we did this in the winter where the rates are absolutely the highest, would the fixed rate would have been less if we did it in the middle of the summer? And actually, we would see savings throughout the winter months as opposed to 3/10 of a penny.
So one of the reasons that the program savings are small is the constraints on the launch window. So the utility rates are changing every 6 months. So we learn about what the new rate is, and then the clock starts for us to get a program going. So let's say we didn't go under contract this fall and we were trying for a spring launch. Unitil announces their rates the end of December, and we are in pricing now in January, which is usually not a very good time to price electricity. If we wait until February, we need, and the program launch takes 70 to 90 days. So now we're looking at, we've missed an April start, we may be into May, we may into June. Now we're losing the opportunity to have those low-cost shoulder months, and we are pushing it toward the end of the next rate period. The launch always has constraints that constrain the market, but once your program is launched, we can do more with looking for savings. And the decision to go 12 months, 24 months, there are lots of programs that just renewed at 36 months. There are equally as many people who think that rates are going to be competitive over the next 2 years that think that rates are going to go very high. We just don't know where it's going to be, but this program is here for you if you want to utilize it. But just in terms of the small savings, launching with savings at all was the goal, or was the idea when we knew we weren't going to have a lot of savings. Then whether we could launch at all was the idea. Sure.
So again, if we waited until February or March, right, to get the next price, we know it's going to be less than the 11 point whatever it is. And that would become our new fixed rate, right? If that's what this program is, it's a fixed rate. So I'm not sure I understand you say we're missing out on getting a lower rate, because my understanding is this rate that you're posting is fixed. So it's not going to fluctuate. So right now it's fixed at the 11 something cents, but if we wait until when you had that other chart up, and March and April are like $6. I mean, so if we fixed it in at $6, that would save us a lot of money. So I don't understand what you're saying it's fluctuating. I didn't hear anything about the rates fluctuating. The purpose of this is because it was fixed so that everyone could plan the entire year at a fixed rate so they could have a monthly budget that wouldn't change. But you just said we are going to miss out on lowering rates, but I don't see how that can be.
Okay, I hope that you don't think the town had the opportunity to take a 6 cent rate and we took 11. I mean, perhaps I shouldn't have shown the variable rates. Those are the actual cost of power in that month for Unitil, but you're using power in 12 months of the year. You can't fix the rate at that rate by purchasing 12 months. It's not available. The rates vary across the year, but in order for residential customers to have a fixed rate, it's going to be higher than 6 cents, it's going to be 11 cents or 25 cents or whatever the fixed utility rate is. I also heard you say it's going to go down in February, and that's the entire point. We don't know whether it's going down or up. It's going to change, but we don't know whether it's going to be higher or lower. But this provides a ceiling for customers in Plastow. Now, you don't have to take a utility rate that's higher than 11 cents anymore because you can join the program. And if you're a person who likes to if you possibly didn't even know what you were paying, if you want a stable rate that only changes when you make a change, then that program is there for you. So I'm sorry, I have a gentleman up here who has been patiently waiting.
I just thought everyone came for my public comment, but apparently it was just for the power thing. I didn't actually plan to talk about power. I had a few public comments for power, but mirroring what this gentleman had said and this program is basically, and correct me if I'm wrong, basically big corporation making a bet that they can guarantee a rate and monopolize the pool of customers to essentially block out other competitors in the process. And it's no different than really an oil rate lock. If you burn oil, right, you establish a rate for the winter and you're guessing that the rate you're gonna get is better than what you possibly could get. I agree. For me, it's $2 or less a month savings. If everyone wants savings, it's great to see everybody here. If we come to deliberative session and we vote our budgets lower, we can save a lot more than 2 cents.
This is about community power.
Understood.
Gotta go up.
That is about community power. In regards to because I think there's this lady had asked a question about how you got paid and things. A mil is 0.001 cent. Is that?
It's a tenth of a cent.
Okay. 0.01 cents?
$0.001.
0.001.
Yes.
So take whatever your kilowatt hours, multiply it by 0.001. That's what you're essentially paying for her services times all the customers in the program. So that's essentially it. So, I mean, for me, I'm going to opt out. I was going to opt out before this meeting anyway, but I just, these programs. So from 2021, 2022, we tried to do this program. Is that correct? How many times did we try to go out to market before we actually implemented it right now?
So the program wasn't fully approved till December of 2023. So that's what, 2 or 3 rate cycles.
So am I correct in saying that we didn't proceed with this because the last at least 2 attempts of going out to the market to get rates, the rates were higher than the Unitil default rate? Is that correct?
They were, and this is the first time it's been a little lower, so that's why we put it out there. That's why we didn't do it before.
Right. So the market's having trouble saving us money, it seems.
But within the launch constraints that I just explained. So now we are unconstrained. We can go now at any point in the market and look for savings.
So another question, after the 2 years is up, if all of those that opt out, when a new contract comes up, do we have to opt out again?
No. So the opt-out list is permanent. If you opt out, then you won't be contacted by the program.
So theoretically, if too many people opt out in 2 years, the pool will be much smaller, and that smaller pool will have less ability to achieve a lower rate. So it could be a negative to the program.
So, and that's a
Could
great
be a positive
question.
if more people add to it as well.
That's a great question. So some of you may be familiar with have a commercial customer or the municipality goes out, uses a broker, gets a better rate than the residential rate over for a couple of years. That's how competitive supply works. The municipality is nowhere near the size of the community. So if the program shrinks a lot, it's smaller, but and maybe there'd be a change in the 5th decimal point, or maybe there wouldn't. Maybe we'll put you in a group where your group is bigger. Really, the comings and goings of individual customers doesn't hurt or help the program. It's the opt-out element was key, and we got launched, and the program is optional for you. But in terms of the programs coming and going, it has a lot of resilience for providing competitive rates, and we're going to just try and time the market better, and and work on those mills and tenths of mills and for savings for customers.
So another thing that was said by one of the selectmen about how we can stay in and then opt out and then jump back in. I noticed on the letter that was sent that it indicated if you opt out, there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to opt back in at the same rate. Is that correct?
So I think I explained that with there's fine print. The B says 35 pages, something like that. And the fine print is that if you opt out, you may be offered a market rate when you come back. As a practical matter, that's designed for larger customers, medium-sized commercial customers, or larger that want to come and go, do a punch out, leave the program for the winter, and then come back in the summer. So very unlikely, but not impossible to apply to residential customers. Direct Energy has, to my knowledge, never done raise the residential rates they've always let customers come back. So in Massachusetts, maybe it was 2023 or 2022 when the rates were 25 cents. They had people still coming into their program at 11, 12 cents. But there are other suppliers that provide supply for municipal programs that didn't let residential customers come at those rates. They gave them a market rate it was still better than 25 cents. It was 15 cents so that there's always fine print in a contract. And this one's just really, really flexible for you as a customer.
Okay. My last comment, I'm a keep it simple, stupid kind of guy. So, and just ask everyone, when's the last time anything sponsored by the government has saved us money?
I can't participate in this because I have solar, but I can say that the positive thing to me about programs like this, grassroots programs like this, is hopefully in the long run, it sends a message to the big utilities that people like us are not going to just sit back and take whatever they want to give us. That at least if there's enough of these grassroots things going on, maybe they'll stand up and look at it and say, okay, maybe we need to, competition is a good thing. We all know that. So no matter what the size of the savings, that's my take on this. So, thank you.
Thank you.
You can get the savings yourself by researching companies. You don't have to opt into what is offered here. There's a lot of options.
So the comment is that you can get the savings yourself, and so there's a state website, the Department of Energy has, and I always Google comparison shopping. So New Hampshire Department of Energy comparison shopping website lists all the rates. I think you'll find if you go there and want to do this, look up Plastow Community Power, look up your program and see how it compares on that website. There's no individual contracts, so you can come and go from the program, which is true of a number of the other rates. But unlike the other competitive suppliers, some of them are very predatory. If you don't mark your calendar and renew on time, then your rate can jump. And the highest supply rate I've seen on the competitive, well, actually this was on someone's bill, was 29 cents a kilowatt hour for supply only. And that was it was an Eversource customer when rates were 22 cents. So Eversource rates were extremely high, but this person was paying 29 cents. And I had to point on their bill, this is your supplier and this is the rate you're paying. So those are predatory, and this is not. This is a town-sponsored program.
Being predatory in the state of Illinois, and if nobody wants to look that up, that's predatory, and now we're bringing it into Plastow.
Okay, well, all I'll say is everybody has the option. And what I would say is everyone should be vigilant, right? And look and check the rates at all time and go with what rates make the most sense and what makes sense for your house. That's what you need to look at. That's the whole thing.
It's EMC's gonna own most of the electric in the state.
Correct. They're going money to this service that we don't need. By signing up for a company that's approved by another state.
I mean, it's everyone has the option. That's what it is, option. Whatever you think is right for you to do for your household, that's what I would do.
I have a question. Can we wait 6 months before we implement this so we can get the better rate the summer? Because the summer is at 6.6 and.
So there's no future better rate. We do not know what the energy prices will be. There's lots and lots of reasons to think energy prices are going up. The export of natural gas is one. There's lots of reasons. So there's no better rate available in the summer. If I gave that impression, that I'm sorry. We really don't know to get a contract.
If somebody's not here for the winter and you get summer rates the way you posted it, because we're not going to be using the electricity. So we're better off not going into the program. Because if you're requiring me to pay the 11 cents or 0.11, and I could get it in April through September at anywhere from 8 to 7 cents.
So the variable rate table is causing some problems. Those rates are if you're on a variable rate with the utility. So if you're not on a variable rate with the utility, then those rates aren't available to you. You pay the fixed rate, which is an average of those rates. If you're not here in the winter, maybe you want to do a variable rate with the utility. You could do that if the rate is lower.
Not every customer starts out as variable. As far as if I'm a Unitel customer now,
then you're on fixed rate, and I think you would, whether you're on, I don't even know whether you can choose variable rates. Honestly, you can. Yeah. Okay. So that's another option that would be available to you. But in terms of the program waiting and getting a better rate, there's two things. One is that they've signed a contract. It is starting in December, and it's for 24 months. But the other thing is we didn't go now because, with some anticipation that the market was going down. If I thought the market was going down, we would have waited. They've waited this long, and this was a good launch opportunity.
so after 2 years, we're going to be in it again at the highest rate being in December.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, because we can go to market in March. We can go to market a year before. We can look for market opportunities. So again, you're always in the market without knowing what's ahead of you. But there are, windows when
if I do opt out, and will all the customers in Plastow get a new rate come next, 2 years in December? Or will it only be the people that are in the program? Do you know what I mean?
Yep. So if you opt out, you won't be contacted by the program again, but you can join the program anytime. But you don't have to wait for 2 years. You can do it.
So I would be getting.
Right. And I think there's some feeling that there are people here who are sort of by default opting out. But what I'm, suggesting is that by default, you enroll and give it a try. That's the alternative. But yes, you can come and go. I mean, anytime. You don't have.
And if you did opt in and all of a sudden you start sourcing out and you see another source somewhere that's less money, then you opt out and you join that one.
I mean, most people don't.
And it's probably good practice anyways to pay attention to what the rates are.
Right.
And whatever works best for you in your house, that's what you do.
Okay.
But if you don't pay attention to the rates now, then and you don't want to, then the program is the rate that won't change unless you make a change.
But will any new rates be posted on the town site so that people who opted out in 2 years will see what the new rates are to choose? Do you know what I mean? Have it published?
Okay. Yep. The question is, will program rates be posted? And yes, in 2 years, when the program renews, the rates would be posted at the town. But you can check the rate anytime on the New Hampshire Department of Energy website, comparison shopping website. You can see all of the competitive rates that are available in the state. You can compare them at any time.
What is the town's obligation to stay with your company after the 2-year contract?
There's no obligation. Hope they will. But.
Are there any other questions?
Mostly comes down to the fact that one is a guaranteed fixed rate, while the others can go up and down as the utilities companies want to. And I don't know about you guys, but I never found a utility company who was in my favor. You talk about the town, but I trust the town more than I trust the utility company. Because at a whim, they'll raise it up. They have to go through procedures, but they still get it through. I've never seen them lose a battle like that. So it's up to you whether you want to guarantee that as a fixed price for the rest of the next 2 years, or whether you want to take a chance in the open market. It's just like stocks. You buy a stock at one price, you hope it goes up. If it goes up, it's wonderful. If it doesn't, you lose money.
Yeah, and if Unitil happens to say go low,
That's basically all it is. So if you want to put in the effort and you want to play the stock market or the utilities market, then you may be able to come out on the plus side. If you don't have the desire or the wherewithal to do that, then staying with the program might be the better choice for you. That's basically all from what I see, from what I'm hearing from everybody.
yeah, it's a personal choice.
Yeah, it's not taking a personal
I
choice.
think that the rate thing kind of messed you up a little bit. Do you know what the rate that was set in February 25 and August 25 were? Because people are thinking, Jesus, we stayed with Unitil for 6 cents.
No, it's not.
No. So
No,
do you
doesn't.
know offhand what the February 25 rate was set at, as opposed to?
I don't actually. I know the 1177 was the August rate, but.
Yeah, and my bill was 11.7, and because we have the fixed rate all year.
I don't think this summer.
You could average those. You could average the 6 months and get very close to the rate. Yeah.
I'd like to thank you for handling some challenging questions with poise and professionalism.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. If we try to leave quietly, we have a meeting, we still have some things to go through.
Okay.
Still get my bill.
It would be high in the summer as well. I thought it would be high.
Three of my wives are
Oh, well, bless you. Well, bless you. Oh, good.
A lot of guys, to just say all of this is, no one brought up the fact that our president is drill. And electricity's gonna have to go down. And that's
I
all
hope
right.
so. I mean, energy costs have to do something.
We want to pay for gas.
Oh, yes.
Emily, thank you.
All right, to continue with our agenda. What I'm gonna do first, on the next one, before public comment, we're gonna do the greatest seal and caregivers transportation update. You've been patiently waiting here for a while. It's over an hour now. Waiting to speak. So, Alan, if you
Want to come over, Sal, join us, or?
I'll be over
I was
there.
asking Sal if he wanted to come join us.
Hey, sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you for coming in. Because it was a little loud there, but we have the Greater Salem Caregivers Transportation Update. I know you've done a lot of work and you've had some volunteers and everything else, so.
Yeah, we were here to provide an update. My name's Alan Davis. I'm with the Plasto Lions Club, and we've partnered with Greater Salem Caregivers and, of course, the town of Plasto to launch this new senior transportation program to provide services to Plasto seniors that need transportation. So with me is Connie Young. She's the director of Greater Salem Caregivers, and Sal Mealy. Sal Mealy, thank you. He's on the board of directors. He's also a volunteer driver himself. And Bob Harris as well from the Plasto Lions Club. So we're here to give you an update on the progress. We've got some exciting updates. I'll let Connie share those with you.
Thanks, Alan, and thank you to the board for giving us some time tonight. So we've been busy since I was last here. I think I was here in June. Since June, we have been able to have 3 volunteer recruitment events. We've circulated throughout the town using various methods. The town has been extremely helpful. The Lions have been extremely helpful, but circulated the message that we need volunteers to be able to bring the services to the residents. So I'm really quite pleased to let you know that we currently have 9 volunteers. We have a 10th volunteer who will help with the intake process. We have started to promote that we are accepting clients. And our first intake is going to happen this Wednesday.
Nice.
So, and then I have 2 other clients waiting for intakes, and I'm hoping they're going to be done. They will be done before Thanksgiving. And then those, assuming everything goes well at those intakes, then those residents can start calling us and scheduling rides. And the process begins. It's pretty remarkable and very exciting. So, you know, I want to remind everybody, I think it's important, you know, we've really reached some milestones, but we have more to do. We will continually need volunteers. So please keep talking about this with your family and your friends and any of your contacts. It's quite, you know, the volunteers find it very rewarding. Sal is a board member, but he's also a volunteer driver. So, you know, we will just always need volunteers. The other thing is, if, you know, the residents of Plastow, give us a call. Talk to us. Tell us what you need. And hopefully we're going to be, in terms of transportation to medical appointments, to the grocery store, maybe friendly visits. And and then we go from there. You know, if we're not appropriate for someone, we'll help identify what else there may be. You know, simple. This is on TV, right?
Yes.
Are we,
It
okay.
is, yes.
So our phone number says 603-898-2850. Can also email me. My email is cyoung@salemcare.org. You know, we'd like to hear from the clients who are hoping to, you know, the prospective clients, but sometimes family members call first. That's okay too. We have the holidays coming up. Families come home. Families get together, and that may be a time where they talk about, well, we need a little bit of extra help. So, what do we have planned for the future? So, for the next 6 weeks, I'll say it's really going to be a push on getting more clients, and then we'll go back and. I think we're probably going to, unless I'm surprised between now and the first of the year, I think we're going to need to do another volunteer recruitment event in January. I have met with the current 10 volunteers. We had a face-to-face last week. They're ready to go. They're ready to go. And so I think that's everything. Can you think of anything else?
No, I think you covered it all. It's just, you know, just continuing to get the message out is the big thing. So we wanted to make sure that everyone in town's aware that we're going to be constantly recruiting, looking for volunteer drivers, as well as looking for clients as well.
Right. And word of mouth is by far there's nothing like somebody you know in town telling you about, you know, give this a try, call them and see. It just, you know, it works very, very well. So I'd be happy to answer any questions.
No, I know, I don't have any questions, but I think it's a great program for the town. Something, you know, we've been lacking. I think, you know, this will be great. I'm glad to hear that you have, 9 or 10 drivers already signed up. And hopefully once the program gets going, you'll have even more volunteers to drive.
We're off to a good start, and I think that was due to the town support, the Lions support, you know, my board support, and my staff, and so we've got a good start, and we'll just keep going. You know.
No, it's great, and I know the Lions do an awful lot for the town to help with things like this. Any thoughts, Jake?
Just reiterate what you said. This is a great program, and I'm glad to see it getting kicked off, and we're going to be able to help some residents in town get where they need to go. So get them out of the house, try to prevent isolation.
Yeah, and we'll, you know, definitely help keep the word out there as well.
Yeah.
I think it's a worthwhile program.
Yeah.
Some programs are more worthwhile than others, and this one's definitely worthwhile.
Yeah. Do you want to add anything?
No, that's pretty much sums it up.
I just have a question.
Sure, go ahead, Bob.
Since this is a partnership, what is your advice on getting communication about this kind of service to the residents of this town? There's no newspapers to speak of. How did they find out that we even exist? What's the best way of getting the word out?
So there are a couple ways you can do that. Like Connie said, word of mouth. I'm sure we're all going to do our part to spread the word. We use all of the town media that we can to promote this through the cable channel, through the message board, through our email blast. There is the Eagle Tribune, which you can get that into the Eagle Tribune. We can also do a press release as well. If you have like a press release that we can push out for you, we can do that. And then also, putting flyers up or visiting the local, there's a Pine Park is a senior community. There's a 55 plus community. There's, and getting information out there. Also, I've heard the Carriage Town is not going to be delivering at home anymore through the mail, but there's going to be a new Carriage Town newspaper that's coming out that they're going to be putting at different locations. So there is going to be that newspaper opportunity where we can put that into the paper as well. So.
Yeah, and like I said, we'll keep spreading the word all the time. It's a great addition to the community. Whenever you want to come in and visit.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We'll try to make sure you're first and won't have to.
It's okay. It was educational. It was educational.
We have a page set up on our webpage as well that has the information for Salem caregivers. So it has all that linked out to your page as well. So.
Okay. All right. All right. We good? Yeah.
Did Liz have something? Or?
I did have a quick question. Is there some way that we could get a flyer to be placed with Meals on Wheels for Plastow residents, so when it's delivered, if allowed, so that we know that it's hitting those 45 or 50 people who are receiving Meals on Wheels?
Yeah, we definitely can.
I just think that would be a great outreach.
That's a great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And I'll check with them to see when they think it's the best time to put those flyers out.
Sure.
And I mean, we can do it more than once. We don't have to, and they can, I'll ask them if they would include that, and they're good. Ask them if they'll include them in any type of welcome packet they might give to new clients. So, yeah, that's a great idea.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Back to business.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't worry, Ryan, I won't let you wait any longer. Public comment.
Well, once the room's empty, I'm sure to be the most important person in the room.
There you go.
Thank you for waiting. Ryan Lebrecq, 174 Main Street. Planning board budget of $180,000 received more scrutiny and questions than the police, fire, and all other department budgets combined. Why is that? Why not subject the other budgets to at least the same level of scrutiny, which should be twice as much scrutiny across the board on all budgets? RTK response is severely delinquent. Town of Plastow is currently in violation of state law. It's a coordinated effort between town manager, BOS, and BudCom to withhold info from the public, while all department budgets are rubber stamped, except, of course, the planning budget, which, as I said, receives some level of scrutiny. The one RTK that I got a response for, I'm going to read it. I submitted RTKs on October 21st and 22nd. To date, I've received zero response other than this letter. The town is in receipt of your right to know request dated October 22nd, 2025, received on October 22nd, 2025. Those requests seek in the aggregate, one, an Excel report with full detail that includes in part line item detail listing positions and each position's budgeted cost. Two, a full accounting of the costs and revenue with aging accounts receivable report, uncollected amounts and written off receivables. Three, the name and contract of the collection agency that the town uses. Four, a list of all town employees with their annual salary of each employee and the budget lines that each are carried under. Five, budget and cost detail of the ALS service, including of staff list, cost per staff member, and all associated costs. And six, the identity of all funding sources and amounts. RSA 91A does not require a municipality to compile, cross-reference, or assemble information into a form in which is not already kept or reported by that body or agency. Therefore, the town must research to ascertain to what extent, if at all, the town is in possession of records responsive to your request. Given limited staffing levels, it will take the town till November 17th, 2025 to perform that research and review. That's today. The town will provide a further communication as to what records exist that may be responsive to your request. When completed, the responsive records will be made available to you for inspection. The town hall by appointment. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Sincerely, I believe it was Beth that sent me this. It's the 17th. Still no response. Subsequent to that, I submitted RTKs. I had submitted an RTK on June 5th, still waiting for a full response as of 11/17. I submitted RTKs, as that letter says, on 10/21, 10/22, 10/29, 11/3, 10/27. No response or acknowledgement provided at all to all of those except for the ones on 10/22. I met with the town manager this week to inquire why I'm not receiving responses. The response was, I'm too busy. These are required by state law. And all the Board of Selectmen and the town manager has tried to do is avoid answering them. And I'm not the only one. There's several other requests that have been submitted by others that have gone unanswered. It's ridiculous. You guys continue to get away with just ignoring people. That's modus operandi around here. That's not right. It's not acceptable. And you need to answer the questions. So give me the answers.
All right, thank you.
Rec department, time to return back to a volunteer rec coordinator. There's no need to fund or fill the position. We have budget increases. Taxes are going up. Valuations went up. Many people's taxes have gone up several hundred, if not thousands of dollars as a result of the letter sent yesterday. It's time to reduce. Power savings, we've talked about that. Waste of effort. Let's focus efforts on things that actually save us money. And finally, Mr. Krieger from Timberlane came in last week to, I don't know what the purpose of them coming in, to tell you how much more of the money they're going to spend. For everybody watching, your taxes will go up probably $1,000 or $1,500 a year as a result of that. School budget's going up $10 million this year. Currently $93 million. And
Take up with the school board. We don't control the school board.
you guys represent us. You can ask questions and you can ask them why they continue to produce $10 million increases instead of just rolling over and, well, you don't ask them any questions.
You have no idea what goes on. You really,
well,
Ryan.
This is the meeting to ask them. The Board of Selectmen should not be operating in the shadows, behind the scenes.
Operating in the shadows, and I'm getting.
That's what you just said.
I'm getting tired of your accusations. I really am.
Okay?
I'll tell you what, if you want to make accusations, be careful, okay?
I'm not making accusations. What I'm asking is for you to answer questions that are asked and not ignore the public. These are simple questions. Reports can be run and answers can be provided. If we're all afraid of putting that information out there, then continue to ignore.
All right, thank you, Ryan.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Enjoy your Thanksgiving.
You as well.
Thank you.
I plan to eat a lot.
All right, to continue on, we got the conditional road acceptance for Abbey Road in Brady Circle. So with this, we got 2 roads, Greg?
Correct. The subdivision that was approved by the planning board and subsequently built off of North Ave near the Plastow Haverhill state line is complete. It is made up of 2 roads, Abbey Road and Brady Circle. The process of which, and with the idea that these roads would become town roads. So it's gone through the entire process. It's been requested, it's been reviewed, and it's been signed off as such, like any other subdivision whereby the town has accepted roads as town roads. Impact fees have been paid. Again, it's been reviewed by Keach Nordstrom with a letter of recommendation as the engineer for the planning board. It has been reviewed by Mr. Darlington, our highway supervisor. There is a letter of credit that will be submitted. The one condition, tied to this acceptance is that be extended out for 2 years. Right now, it currently, I believe, goes through March or May of 26. So the idea is that will be extended out for 2 years to protect the town against any potential issues that may arise because of the building of said roads.
Yeah, and I know you planned on accepting this all along, right?
That was the intent, yes.
Any questions, anyone? Concerns? Danny, do you have any concerns about the road? Everything seems fine?
No, I have no concerns about the road. What I would like to say, though, is like any other road that we accept, they call it accepting, but it's actually a reclassification. So we're taking a Class 6 road and making it a Class 5 road, which means the town now maintains it. The road is 50 feet wide, the right-of-way is, so the only thing I emphasize to people that might be listening or whatever, that we're not just taking over the section that's paved, we're taking over the whole 50 feet by however long. One's about 2,000 feet, the other one's plus or minus 530 feet, so.
Okay.
That allows us to maintain drainage, street signs. Someday they decide to put sewer or anything, that allows us that amount of room to that road. They did a good job putting that road in. There's no catch basins. It's all swales and cross culverts and detention ponds. So the overall maintenance, once we get into a program where we take care of our detention ponds, the overall maintenance, other than plowing and all those normal MS4 stuff, then becomes relatively a low responsibility road.
All right. Go ahead, Jay.
I'm just going to ask it. What if we don't accept the road?
Then the maintenance of said road would go back to the developer.
Yep.
Okay.
That's why they call it a reclassification, because that's the difference between a private road and a Class 5 road is who maintains the maintenance of it.
And when this development started, this was the plan all along that we were going to accept these, right? These roads?
That's correct.
putting the other side.
Yeah. Never.
And I won't sit here and tell you there hasn't been a situation, or there might not be a situation in the future that it hasn't been recommended to classify the road.
Any comments, questions?
Have to make the motion.
Go right ahead.
It's a lot of road.
Yes, I move to accept the roadways known on as Abbey Road and Brady Circle and described in the deed submitted by North Ave Development LLC as Town of Plastow public rights of way with the following conditions. The letter of credit submitted shall be amended to have an expiration date of November 17th, 2027, 2 years from 2 years from acceptance.
Thank you, Liz.
Second.
Second by Jay. Any other comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
That's 500. You might as well stay there, Danny. Next up is the highway vehicle discussion. I know this is getting a little
We
long.
have a 2012 F-350 pickup truck that's starting to cost us money. It's, in my opinion, yeah, and in my opinion, it's given us all. It really has. It's got 158, almost 159,000 miles. When I started with the town, however years that was, we were rotating trucks at 50,000 miles. The truck has approximately, not approximately, it's 12,538 running hours. So if you figure that out at 30 miles to an hour, you're looking at over 376,000 miles on the engine, we'll say, and not necessarily the running gear. And I know you guys have heard this conversation with the police department. Idling only considers part of the actual wear and tear. But
And you use that particular truck was used for plowing as well, right?
it does still come with the price that I've given includes a plow, a 9-foot plow.
But the truck that we're looking to replace, you've used it for the last
Yes.
13 years to
Oh,
plow.
absolutely. That's generally been my truck. The pickup truck has been the supervisor's truck. The last couple of years, we've kind of taken a break on it because we've been down a guy. So, I can't drive 2 trucks, so I drive the bigger of the 2 trucks. So
And what are you looking to replace it with?
we're looking to replace it with a 2500 series Chevy pickup truck. It's not quite the heaviest, dutiest Chevy. It's one step down. It's probably even a step down from what the F-350 is in reference to the weight class, but I think it'll do the job it needs to do and maybe cost us a little less in maintenance in the future.
And
It's color white so that we can stay maybe neutral when it comes to trading, leasing, and getting the color yellow is very difficult to do sometimes.
Yeah.
You got to get in line. You got to have 15 or so trucks in line before they'll paint yellow.
Yeah.
So
So this way you'd have this for the winter?
yes, when I talked to both dealerships, that truck was in stock on both dealerships.
And how many year maintenance on it?
What's that?
For the
It's a
maintenance?
regular standard, whatever, 3 years, 2
36.
years. Yeah, I don't have that in front of me, but.
Questions?
Just going back to your existing truck, can you just talk a little bit about like some of the big maintenance items that you've had to do on that truck over the
Yeah.
years?
Sure. In the past, just this year alone, one repair was a little over $4,000, $4,300. That was numerous parts of the front end and the steering mechanisms. And then most recently, we had the air conditioner and the defrost issues. That was $1,500. Issues that we still have with the truck, they're a little more lengthy. The check engine light's on. We believe it has to do with the evap on the gas tank. cab corners are rotting. I think the driver's side is worse. It'll need tires before winter. One of the major things is it has a massive shutter in the transmission. So when you go to accelerate up a hill, it shutters and feels like it wants to giddy up. The body mounts, the front body mounts are junk. And the exhaust manifolds are rotten, more on the driver's side than the passenger side. Those would be a very, very difficult thing to fix. And obviously, if they're rotten and they're falling, there's always the chance of exhaust fumes and stuff like that. So those are the things we know about it. Check engine light we've tried to address a few times, and it just keeps on coming on. So.
And what would be the plans with your current truck, Greg? Are we trading that in?
Well, originally, when the whole conversation started, we thought maybe it would be an alternative to the building inspector situation. Since then, I don't know if that's maybe the most cost-effective way to look at it. And then with the manifold issue, we got a little noise in the front end as of yesterday. It started, kind of amplified the transmission. It could go 2 days, and so my recommendation to the board would be to trade it, bring it up to the auction like you would the building inspector's vehicle.
So we'd look into auction it?
We will keep the plow. We'll keep the 9-foot plow that goes on this truck because it never hurts to have a spare.
Right.
Even whether it's a town truck or a contractor, it never hurts to have a plow they can pull right up to and put on the truck and get us through the storm.
Yep. And I know we have 3 quotes in front of us with the pricing, correct?
Yes, pricing. The pricing is relatively close. Wouldn't be surprised if it is in a very similar truck. There's about a $2,200 difference between the one in Manchester versus, I think they're both in Manchester.
But just one dealership happens to be less than the other. It's the same truck.
I'm sorry?
It's the same truck. It's just one dealership.
No, I don't think it's the same truck, but it's a very similar truck. Myself and Dana, we kind of compared the two. They're not exactly, but this truck might have only one battery. The other truck might have 2 batteries, and but they're a pretty much a plain Jane work truck.
Yeah. Okay.
And then on top of that price, there's obviously some modifications we've got to add to it, and I'll talk to Greg or whatever on how he wants to deal with those. We got to put a strobe light on it. You got to put floor mats in it. There's certain things that you got to put in it to add to it to deal with the safety issues and stuff.
And we're looking for this. There's money in the CIP?
Yes, there's approximately $245,000 that's in the highway CIP
and I'm sure
for equipment purchase.
And this has been on the CIP for a while. I'm sure it's.
From what I saw in the CIP, it went from 2020 to replaced with $50,000 in as a place. And then it went to, hold on, let me look at my notes. And then in 2018, it was for 2020. In 2019, it went up to 2023. In 2023, it was to be replaced in 2024. And then in the 2024, if it's in there, I can't find it.
So we got an additional many years out of the truck.
We did. Well, there was reasons for it. One of our other trucks that would be more important during the winter had issues of broken frame. So I don't know if the saying is you rob Peter to pay Paul, but we made a decision based on what our needs were, and we kind of dragged this truck along. It's done its thing. It really has.
All right. Questions, comments? I mean, it's
14-year-old truck that's been plowing.
It's close to 100. You're closing in on 160,000. That doesn't include the hours running, as Danny mentioned.
And the truck this is a gas job, and the truck I'm replacing is a gas job. Back when I became the supervisor, was one of the things I did a really good size analysis on was the benefits of a diesel versus gas job. And most of the time, the diesels will last you longer, but they're more expensive in the front end. And a lot of things go wrong with the truck before you need a motor. So where did you want to make the savings? So, and then they had a lot of issues with just 6.0 diesels, and there was other things that made the decision between diesel and gas a little easier.
I think we've pulled all the blood out of that stone we possibly can.
Yeah. I mean, I wish.
Good job making it last that long.
Yeah, we've started a new program. Well, it's now 2 years old. We've started a program where we try to undercoat our equipment. I actually was at the point where I didn't really think we were going to be in a position to have to replace this, so I even had this particular truck undercoated.
Yeah, I mean, you figure if you're out plowing, you're around salt.
Yeah. It's,
I make a motion to authorize the purchase of a highway vehicle, including a plow, for $56,971. Said sum to come out of the Highway Department Capital Reserve Fund.
I'll second that.
Second by Liz. Her first.
This is for the Chevy.
The Chevy, right? It would be the one at the lower cost one.
Yep.
And just for point of reference, the difference between a Chevy and a GMC is the extras. GMC is just that next tier up.
Yep.
So.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's 500.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. Anything for me?
Well, yes. Can we take the sale of the vehicle at auction out of?
You want to do that next?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Dan would appreciate that. In case you have any questions.
Okay.
So we're also looking at, we have a second car that had been passed down from the police department to the building inspector. It's gone through 2 building inspectors at this point. It's at the point, and I know Dan has driven it as well, but it's at the point where it needs to go, basically. So we're just looking for, we will send it up to, as I had mentioned, the state auction is May and October. Since we're not going to catch, one until May, we're going to put it online through the auctioneer that we've utilized for property and the like. So instead of having it sit around here for the wintertime, we'll get rid of it, this week if approved.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to get rid of it, why sit on it?
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And how old is that one? That vehicle?
20.
I think it's a 2015, but I'm not positive on that. You're talking about the building inspectors?
Yeah.
So that's like
Either
a 10,
15 or.
Yeah, I want to say it's within that year where they were having issues. There was several issues with the exhaust, or something to do with the exhaust that was causing police officers to not feel well. And I believe this particular vehicle falls into that. I drove it. I put a carbon monoxide detector in it. Never really set it off. But when you have 2 or 3 people driving enough that they don't feel well.
As well.
What?
If you're just sitting idle somewhere as well, it would increase it.
I let it run outside the garage for 2.5 hours with the carbon monoxide detector, and it didn't set it off, but that doesn't mean anything. And it was raining, which was one of the variables that was mentioned when it was given to me on when it usually happened. But I just don't really see the risk of keep on going down with the ladder.
Yeah. Yep, no, I agree. Just need a consensus on that, or a motion?
A motion, yeah.
What's the vehicle, the 2015 Ford
Explorer.
Make a motion to send the 2015 Ford Explorer that's currently being used by the building department to auction.
Second.
that. Second by Tyler. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So that's 500.
Is that what you want to do with the? Is that the same thing you want to do with the 2012
I would
highway
say, yeah,
truck?
we probably want to do the same thing with that.
Do you want to wait on that until the new one comes in, or what do you want to do?
We can wait
I'm
till
going
it
to talk
comes
to you
in.
in the morning on what the process is to get a check. So I'm going to reach out to the vendor, find out what I have to do to get my hands on that truck, and
Yeah, and then it's come in, as obviously that's what we gotta do to at least get a little money back for it. Whatever we can.
because there are some items we got to take out of that pickup truck, the radio,
Right.
It's not worth taking the strobe bar off the top because then there'll be a big hole in the roof. Not that I think that's going to make a difference on the auction, but
No, you never know. Somebody might be looking for that for parts or whatever, and it's.
exactly. Yeah.
But thank you, Dan.
All right. Thank you. I
Appreciate
appreciate your support.
All right, next up, we have ALS discussion.
So as part of the ALS program, we are fast approaching 1 year under service. It was started, I believe, around March of 2025. The fire chief and myself, we met with the Attorney General's office and have secured a grant for another year, different source of funding, but another grant for $1,385,232. This is going before governor and council in the month of December, and the paperwork, according to the Attorney General's office, needs to be done and finalized by November 24th. So that as part of that, I'm looking for a motion to accept the grant and also to designate myself to be able to sign once, if the governor and council approves that, we'll hold the public hearing to accept under 3195. So this is to get the ball rolling with that for another year as part of this grant. They've also, we're working on finding a more solid funding mechanism for the future, but this in the meantime will get the program going for another year. So.
And this would fund it for another year.
This would fully fund it from March of 26 through March of 27. And also the idea would be with the towns that are participating to be able to build budgets, include money, things of that nature to help with the permanent funding source. I said and I say we, but the chief more is, knocking on, a lot of doors and the like, and we've got some ideas that we are working through to create a permanent funding source.
But those towns should be starting to pay into the ALS in 26, right?
They are currently paying in now. The rates will be going up for 26, but where this will cover 100% of the costs, there's not necessarily a need to pay, fully into it, but it's kind of where that gradual increase and.
You're building a fund up there too, right? So
Yes.
You're building some funds. And then eventually we're gonna have a public hearing on this.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to accept the grant for the ALS program for $1.3 million. Is that the amount?
Yep, there's a motion in
Okay.
there.
I don't have that. All right. Make a motion for the town of Placer to enter into a grant agreement for $1,385,232 with the New Hampshire Department of Justice for the Plastow Regional ALS program, and further authorize Greg Colby, town manager, to execute any documents which may be necessary for this contract.
I'll second that. Second by Tyler. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So it's 500. And then The last thing we have on our agenda is the planning board budget. So hopefully we can get this, we can get it over to the budget committee. I know the only reason this got delayed is we just had questions before, but this is like a new budget for us, got broken out, so it was a little bit different than past budgets. And we know the planning board, Dan Kane specifically worked on it, so it was a matter of trying to get, at least for me anyways, my arms around, my head around it, to figure out exactly what line items we were looking at and where everything was. So it was more just to be cautious on it, to make sure we knew what we were looking at. So I know I went, grab
39.
It's page 9, right?
Yeah.
At the bottom. We already approved the planning department. So what we're doing what we decided to do this year is take the planning board and separate some of the line items out from the planning department. If I'm incorrect somewhere, Greg, just let me know.
I will.
Sure you will. You'll be waiting over there. So what we had in front of us on our worksheet was basically 1, 2, 3, 4, like roughly about eight line, no, is that right? No, less than that. Probably about 7 or so line items. And I know on the spreadsheet that Dan had given us when he was in here, we had a few things on there, and I know some of it is captured in different departments. What I saw for you, this one spreadsheet he put a line item in there for the planning board staff, and that's actually captured up in the planning department, so that's already captured. Then we had the planning board minute taker, that's also captured in the planning department under part-time positions. The overtime, that's also captured in the planning department. And then these next two that we're at, it was application engineering and application legal. One was for $40,950, the other was $17,550. Now, this is the one, correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, but can we do a pass-through on those currently?
Those are the pass-through expenses, yes.
And the downside would be if we put those figures in the budget where it's a bottom line budget, if something exceeded that limit, then we'd have to take that money from somewhere else. Is that
correct?
Right, saying that?
Yes, you're tied to the bottom line budget. So if you're going to budget a pass-through expense and there's a big development or something along those lines that comes in and that expense triples, we have to find that money in the bottom line budget.
Okay, so the feeling is, and obviously everyone's got to say, is keep it as a pass-through, where it's out of the budget, which we've been doing for, and how it's been worked.
And there's nothing wrong with doing that. I don't know of a town that budgets its pass-through expenses like that. The cost is borne by the applicant and it is kept in a separate account and it is paid for separately. And if those monies run out, we ask the developer or the applicant to pay more. And likewise, if those monies are in excess of what is needed, those monies are refunded to the applicant. They're not kept as part of the general fund.
Okay.
So in essence, we're just an agent of the money.
You're just an agent of the money. That is correct.
We're making $0 off of this.
Yes.
So why are we budgeting for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the next one down would be the notices and publications. That's also captured up in the planning department. Then next is, we have office supplies for the printing cartridges. That's also in planning department. Postage to notify abutters is also the planning department. Mileage to record plans, the dollar amount that we have down there as well as the other ones, it's also in the planning department. Recording fees as well is also there, line 870. That's in the planning department. So really what we're looking at, I know the couple discrepancies here. So if we look at this, what I was looking at and let me know if you're different, is the first one under the planning board. The planning board engineering, consult fees and grants. We didn't have anything there, but I figured we should at least put $1 in there to keep it.
Yep.
The next one down would be the RPC circuit rider, $10,000, which is the same. The legal is, what we have on our worksheet was $40,611. The planning board has 20,000. But Greg, you took the average of the last several years,
Correct.
and that's what that came out for. So legal before used to be captured in another budget. So we had that budget was decreased and this dollar amount was added over here. The next line item was the planning board computer IT. That is for their email addresses, which is $1,400. And for the planning board master plan update, on the worksheet we had, it had requested 5,000. And the planning board is requesting 10,000. I would agree with the 10,000 because if we're going to do a master plan update, that 10,000 would be needed to get that accomplished. And the last one is the planning board impact fee update. When the planning board was here in discussions, they decided that $35,000 will not be needed because they won't be doing it this year. So we would be, eliminating that to $1. We'll put that at $1 to keep it there. So what I have for a total for the planning board was $62,013. Discussion, comments? I know I went through it, just to make sure everybody kind of understands.
Yeah, the takeaways that I got from the comparison was the reduction or the increase of the master plan and the reduction of the impact fee.
Right.
So.
And that's really it, yeah. You had the pass-through.
Right.
So it's not like it's not covered, it's covered through the pass-through. And once again, the reason this one didn't really get done, it's just, we had questions where it was new. Just wanted to make sure we understood everything.
It was just the presentation was different and
that's all it was. So, so I guess the question would be, any other?
No, I think with what we have in it, it was apples to bananas.
Yeah.
And, it's just a new entity for us and understanding where those numbers are.
Right, and that's all it really was.
Yeah.
All right, so what I'll do is,
What's the bottom line for the?
62.
well, for the planning board, it would be $62,013.
Right, so one.
And I know you're meeting tomorrow night, so I can certainly give you my notes on this if you have questions. I don't know if they're going over the planning board tomorrow night or not.
it's not on the agenda.
Is it?
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the planning board budget for $62,013.
And I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 500. Thank you. More papers around here. Okay. So next up, we have to approve the consent agenda. On the consent agenda is the accounts payable manifest for November 5th and 6th of 2025. The BOS draft minutes of 11/3/2025. 2 veteran tax credit applications. There's 1 spouse veteran tax credit application, and there's 2 2025 abatement requests.
I make I thank you, sir. I make a motion to accept the consent agenda for November 17th, 2025.
I'll second that.
Tyler, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 500. Town managers report, Chris.
Well, I mean, highlights, had a couple of meetings with the Hampshire DOT along with the traffic calming on Thursday night. Have had several phone calls, issues and the like with the water project over at Wilder Drive, working on that. I was told today that the contractor has the plumber and they did the first install into one of the homes and or businesses today. So we are getting to the end of that and hopefully we'll be right before the above grade water line freezes and we can get the water over to 2 and 4. Did have meetings with department heads, residents and the like, and attended the Veterans Day ceremony over at the Vic Gary as well. So,
Thank you.
yes, you're welcome.
We got selectmen's reports. John?
Well, let's see, I attended the Veterans Vic. If you saw me, I was probably covered in pancake dust, but it was well received. Everybody had a good time. It was great to see all the scouts and the Leos from the Lions group helping out. I also attended the traffic calming here the other night, and I think a lot of good information came out, and people raised their voice, and that's what it was there for. There's also a website. You can go out and shoot an email, follow up with that. The more information they have, the better off we all are. That's it for right now.
Thank you, John. Tyler?
Also attended the traffic calming the other night. Helped host the ski club info night a week and a half ago. It was a good turnout there. As of today was the cutoff for ski club signups, and they did get enough. So that will be starting in January. Big thanks to the rec commission, the 2 part-time rec directors that are helping out for getting everything going with that. We had a rec commission meeting, going over with them, just the 2 part-time rec directors we have. They are picking up the slack for the holidays to make sure nothing is skipped at this time. So big help there because we don't have enough people to get it all done. Have a budget committee meeting tomorrow night, and that's about it.
Thank you. Liz?
I attended an energy committee meeting last week, a planning board meeting, which was a workshop, the traffic calming and Veterans Day, and every year it just seems to grow a little bit more, which is really nice to see the community wrapping themselves around our veterans.
Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jay?
Let's see. So had a budget meeting 2 weeks ago. The budget committee approved a handful, I think 6 or 7 budgets. They're continuing to do their work. I can't attend tomorrow night, so I've asked Howard to be there in my place. So he's going to be there. I wasn't able to attend the complete Veterans Day ceremony, but it looked like it was well attended. And thank you, Beth, for doing a great job and organizing all of that. There's a budget committee meeting tomorrow night, so, and I did attend the traffic calming. I did want to just mention on that, we should probably think to, or schedule a work session to come up with a plan as far as what we want to tell the state. So we should probably look to schedule that soon. We've all had time to take it all in, and then we can come up with a decision and then present that. So.
Yep. All right. Thank you. I also attended the Veterans Day. I thought it went well. Big thank you, obviously, to Beth. I know she likes to say it's going to be her last one, but we'll see. Also, big thank you to the Lions for doing all the cooking. They were there early in the morning to have everything set up and ready. And, the Junior Lions were there. Thank you to the Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts that helped participate. Historical Society was there, and to all the speakers as well. I thought the day went very well that morning. I also attended the traffic calming. A lot of good information, a lot of discussion there that night, a lot of ideas. Obviously, I think, Jay, you have a good idea. Let's
get together.
Figure that out. Did attend the rec meeting. Tyler pretty much addressed all that. The one thing to look for, starting, I think, hopefully later this week, there'll be the giving tree downstairs to help out, and that's usually the one that's done for the elders.
Yes.
So please come into town hall and grab a tag for the tree. I know the turnaround is going to be fairly quick this year because Thanksgiving is so late this year.
Yep.
But it really helps those in need, and it's really worthwhile. I do have a planning board meeting on Wednesday night. So that's everything I had. Anybody had anything they wanted to bring up or anything? Craig, what are the dates for the warrant articles? Do you happen to know?
Not off the top of my head.
Because I don't know if the CIP, who's on the CIP committee? Has CIP met at all yet?
No, I haven't heard anything yet.
Because at some point, we're going to have to probably figure that out, right?
And I think the only update came from the police department, so that means, they take last year's
And just
plan and update it with the new request and maybe look at the full plan as a total and maybe shift things around as necessary. But
Yeah, because obviously the dates are going to start coming up on us pretty quick,
Yeah, we
right?
have warrants, right?
The next time we meet is probably going to be December, right? Because next week is Thanksgiving.
So Dan Kane's the chair
Okay.
of the CIP.
Okay. All right. Well, look forward to getting the info there.
I could email him tomorrow and find out when he wants to schedule a meeting.
Yeah. Perfect. I just assign that. So I guess that was all I had. And anybody else? Anything? We're all good?
Good.
Seeing as next week's Thanksgiving, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the time with your family. And then we'll see everybody back here in December. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.